All right, Donald Trump. If there is one Republican candidate out there that might enamor some wage earners in this country, it would be Donald Trump because of his job experience of creating jobs, negotiating with unions, and understanding the arena of collective bargaining. And I actually think that there are a good number of union workers in this country that would not feel bad if Trump were president. Now, is it an educational thing? Is it because Trump says things that other Republican candidates don't say? I think that's part of it right there. Here's what Trump said about currency manipulation.
Our country is not competitive anymore. That's why we're losing all of the manufacturing. Now, it's currency manipulation and all of those things that I talked about last night. A lot of currency manipulation. They are doing it brilliantly in China. Mm-hmm. China is a tremendous abuser of the United States. I said the other day, in the history of the world, there has never been a greater theft than what the United States has, how we've been taken care of by China. China has it's one of the great bank robberies of all time. Well, China has manipulated their currency. They've taken our jobs. They've taken our base. They've taken our manufacturing. They've taken so much out of us. Hundreds of thousands of companies. We have lost hundreds of thousands of companies and millions of jobs.
So Trump is really the only Republican candidate that I can see that is willing to admit that we've seen an erosion of our manufacturing base. The currency manipulation that's taken place with China is a big problem. For more on that, let's turn to United Steelworkers International President Leo Gerard. Mr. Gerard, good to have you with us.
Glad to be with you.
I'm no Trump fan, but he is, I think, enamoring some laborers in this country with conversation like that. Are we getting hoodwinked? Your thoughts?
Well, I absolutely think we are getting hoodwinked if we see what he's doing and versus what he's saying, or what he's done and what he's saying. They're two different things. But I would tell you that he is actually saying things that working people would love to hear from the administration, would love to hear from others. But quite frankly, it's no less than what Bernie Sanders is saying, and Bernie's been saying it for 30 years, not for the last 20 weeks.
If you take a look at what Trump says, he doubled down on his argument that American wages are too high. He says one thing about currency manipulation, then he comes back and says that we have to keep minimum wage where it is. That in itself is going to deep six him with workers, isn't it?
Well, it's not only saying that the minimum wage has to be kept where it is. The minimum wage isn't a minimum wage; it's a poverty wage, and with the minimum wage being where it is, it helps keep that's one of the reasons all the Republicans like it. It helps keep all other wages down. And when you look at what's going on with our trading arrangements, every one of our trading arrangements is with countries, with the exception of Canada, that have lower wages than we do. And so that position from Trump doesn't hold water, to put it bluntly.
I want to get your reaction to Marco Rubio the other night in the debate saying that welders make more than philosophers. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics survey of May of 2014 clearly shows that that's incorrect. That philosophers in post-education and also in religious teachers make over $70,000 a year. The average pay for welders is $40,000 a year. And no one on the Republican stage corrected him. Your thoughts on that? He's trying to become the vocational president, yet that's what he says, the vocational candidate wants to make it easier to get funds for education, which I don't think anybody would argue with. But the fact is he's anti-union, he's anti-collective bargaining, and welders better themselves when they are placed in that position. And I don't think there's anybody better to talk about it than you. Your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I think that the issue on welders is that unless they work a ton of overtime, they don't make anywhere near what a professor would make or a professional as whatever Marco Rubio called them, philosophers, I think is what he said. The fact of the matter is that all private sector wages have been held down. And in reality, if you look at what major economists are saying, the average wage of an industrial worker the average wage of working people, with both in the family working, is equivalent to what the wage was in 1981 or 82, or in some cases 71 or 72, depending on which economist you accept. And in reality, when those wages are kept at that level, you're fostering income inequality. The best way to handle income inequality, the best way to handle the rise in wages of professional tradesmen and welders, is to have collective bargaining. If you watch the downward trend in income inequality or the upward trend in income inequality with the downward trend in unions, they match. Unions are the best vehicle. Collective bargaining is the best vehicle to raise wages and to create a middle-class economy.
Mm-hmm. What's labor going to do about the misinformation that Trump is throwing out? I know there's a constant educational process going on, but it seems to be at a peak at this point. What do you think?
Well, we'll continue to talk to our members. I mean, one of the things that's going on right now is that Trump and the Republicans are getting a tremendous amount of press and tremendous amount of opportunity to spread their misinformation because of their constant debates. And although the debates are mostly almost like gong shows, some people like Trump and Rubio and others are getting to spread misinformation. They're getting to spread things they know they would never do, and especially on the economy. And when you got them up there saying they're going to create jobs, certainly the ones that were in the Senate or in the House, we should ask them what they did when the jobs bill came up. Why did they vote against it? They haven't supported any bill that would have created jobs, and any of them that got through because President Obama was using whatever powers he could find to get stuff done. And in spite of that, we've got the lowest level of unemployment since before the crash, and with no thanks to Republicans.
Leo Gerard with us, United Steelworkers International President, here on Ed Schultz News and Commentary. Leo, I know that there has been no official endorsement from the AFL-CIO. Some unions have come out in support of some candidates. How's that process going? Is this going to be a keep your powder dry moment in American politics for organized labor?
I think that the position of the last time that the Executive Council met was that we would all try to keep our powder dry and allow the process to take its course for a while to see which candidates are going to make which commitments and how we're going to do that. And I think it's important to see that in particular Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders continuously since, forever, never changing his position and moving Hillary to the left where she came out in favor of stopping the Keystone. She came out in large measure with a little bit of wiggle room against the TPP, and now we're going to have to push that and see exactly where that takes us.
Okay.
So,
and that is
either way, Ed, any Democratic candidate is going to be a heck of a lot better than any Republican candidate.
There's no question about that. No doubt about it. All right. Finally, the TPP. We're in that 90-day window. After the first of the year, it's going to be addressed. Do you think that we can stop it in Congress?
I really believe that now that we've seen the draft, Ed, it's sad that I think it's worse than we thought on every issue. The dispute resolution mechanism, ISDS, state-owned enterprises, rules of origin, currency manipulation, none of them have been addressed in a way that would protect and grow American jobs. And so I think we have to go to the couple of dozen of Democrats that voted for fast track, and some of them made commitments that if it didn't turn out well, TPP, they would be against it. So we have to go back and remind them. We have to go back and see some of the right-wing Republicans and ask them why they're prepared to give up their sovereignty. Yeah. Why are we prepared to do a trade deal with Brunei that has Sharia law and outlaws unions? Why are we allowed to have a trade deal with Malaysia that still has forced labor? A lot of these questions that, forced abortion. Why are they giving up on those things? And so I think that there's an opportunity, but it's not going to be easy, and we have to work hard.
All right. Leo Gerard, always great. We'll come back later on and talk more about that as that heats up in the Congress. Then that really is the last body on the face of the earth that can stop the worst trade agreement we've ever seen for wage earners in this country, and that is the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The Congress can stop it. So, folks, let's keep working. Leo, thanks so much. We'll do it again. Thanks, my friend.
Okay. You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. Communication Workers of America, Alliance for American Manufacturing, BioGreen Clean, and the iSafe team bring you this production. We're back tomorrow.